brand new page. Write down today's heading. This is related to the entire syllabus of your startup journey. I like to call it kickstart your startup. Do you understand the meaning of a startup? The most basic definition of a startup. Have you heard the word startup? Somebody started a startup somewhere. Oh, I want to start a startup. I want to be an entrepreneur. Have you heard such words? Give me an example of a startup from India.
Take a photo.
I know Chai Point in Hyderabad. Anything else? MBA Chai Wala. Anyone else?
Ma'am, take a coffee. Take a coffee.
Take a coffee?
Take a coffee.
Take a coffee. Yes, take a coffee. Yes. Established हो गया है. Now it's a multi-crore business. But I'm talking about startups which are still growing. Okay, give me an example of a startup which is not a startup anymore but a thriving business today.
Oyo.
See, you Oyo, Ola, Flipkart. However, if I want to take your startup class, I will not appreciate Ola, I will not appreciate Flipkart or Oyo. Why? Then we will come to the points that we have to discuss today. But this is just for general knowledge, just to interact and get to know कि भाई startup होता भी क्या है before we start studying a startup. Entrepreneur होता कौन है? तो why will I not appreciate Ola? Anyone can respond, even the videographer. Vansh, why do you think I will not say anything special about Ola or Oyo, Flipkart, or Gaana.com? You know Gaana.com?
Yes, ma'am.
The app.
Ma'am, because they have more competition. मतलब उनके जैसे बहुत सारे हैं.
थोड़ा तेजली बोलिए ताकि आवाज रिकॉर्ड हो. And yes.
मैम, उनके जैसे बहुत सारे हैं.
बहुत सारे हैं. You are very close to the right answer. Be more specific. और कौन है उनके जैसा?
Uber.
The point is very simple. You were not bang on, but you were very close to the answer. These are all copycats. Don't you know that? अमेरिका से एक स्टार्टअप आया, कॉपी कर दिया. Uber आया, हमने क्या बना दिया? Ola. Airbnb आया, क्या बना दिया? What did we make? Airbnb, American startup. हमने क्या किया? Oyo, आपने नहीं बोला था? Spotify आया, हमने क्या कर दिया? Gaana.com. Jeff Bezos. इंडिया ने क्या कर दिया? Flipkart. Even if you are understanding your customer's needs, which the customer can't meet himself or herself, आप क्या कर रहे हो? बाहर से कोई आया, वैसा ही कुछ बना दो. उसका एक सस्ता कॉपी बना दो. Yes or no? What is Gaana.com? The Indianized copycat version of Spotify. I would choose Spotify. I only use Amazon. I don't trust Flipkart. Why? You did copy me. If I am Amazon, you are Flipkart. The smart customer will go to the bar or the copycat. Who will the smart customer go to? जब तक कोई ऐसा प्रोडक्ट है जो Amazon पे नहीं है, सिर्फ Flipkart पे, तभी मैं मजबूरी है Flipkart पे जाऊँ. नहीं तो I'm going to Amazon. Sorry. चाहे मुझे 10 रुपए ज़्यादा पे करने पड़े. Why? Why? Because Amazon has credibility. I know I will probably not get a damaged product, or it will not be mishandled, or I will have delivery on time, or there is great customer service, or they try to give great customer experience. आप लोगों ने customer experience का नाम सुना है? Customer delight सुना है? भाई customer service तो Flipkart भी करती है. Customer delight. मैं अपना पर्सनल एग्जांपल आपको दे सकती हूँ. मुझे Amazon से एक टाइम पे कस्टमर डिलाइट मिली. There was one time I had a problem with one of their products. ये मैं अपने लाइफ का एग्जांपल बता रही हूँ. प्रोडक्ट जो मैंने कुछ ऑर्डर किया था, and I ordered 4 pieces. Mind you, this is my story. Last year, Hyderabad. important, and I hope somebody from Amazon watches this. I opened the first product, I consumed it, but I was hell-bent and going to get my money back. Why? Because I paid for 4, you gave me 2. So I opened one product. I did not open the second product. I clicked the photograph as a proof. Then I called the Amazon customer care number. The executive picks up the phone. I explain the whole problem. The executive is not in a situation to help me right till the end. Hey, you have junior executives, you have interns, you have senior executives. This executive passes my number or transfers my call to the senior executive. The senior executive asks for a proof of the photograph. Only the photograph. अब देखिए उनका भरोसा हम पे कितना है. They are so well established. आपका नाम क्या है? सत्यम. क्या पता सत्यम को 4 प्रोडक्ट्स मिले, लेकिन 2 हटा के 2 की फोटो भेज रहे हैं. ऐसा भी तो हो सकता है. But look at the trust. That customer is king. Customer is everything for us. हमको अपनी प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी नहीं देखनी, हमको कस्टमर की प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी देखनी है. हमको हमारा मनी मेकिंग मॉडल नहीं देखना, हमको सत्यम का मनी मेकिंग मॉडल देखना है. सत्यम की तरह मैंने अपना फोटो Amazon के लिंक पे अपलोड कर दिया. Here is the proof. All of my money was refunded right away. Plus, I was given a policy for the next time that if you order any other product, to compensate for this bad customer experience, we really are sorry, we apologize. We are going to offer you this much of discount on any product that you purchase next. Will you call this customer service or the great customer experience? I fell in love with Amazon that day. I had been using it for 10 years, but again I fell in love. कि भाई अब तो जिंदगी भर Amazon ही यूज करेंगे, बाहर में जाए Flipkart, we'll never use Flipkart. If I want something, मुझसे Flipkart पे अवेलेबल है, मैं मार्केट जा सकती हूँ, नहीं Flipkart से नहीं. शोरूम से मिल जाएगा. Yes or no? So we are just copying the ideas of the American startups. So today we are going to talk about startups. Basic definition क्या होती है startup की, let's start with. No, that's not the definition. To commence a business, no. Anyone can start a business. I can start a business today. I can start an online coaching business. I can start an online life and leadership coaching business. I am that. I can start an online communication skills course. I can sell my online courses today. I can become an online thought leader tonight. Just open a website, put out my courses, sell them. ये तो सब कर सकते हैं. But what is a startup?
Start a business?
Nahi, no. Simple definition. Yes, Rudransh.
Generation of new idea which haven't come in the market.
Okay, partly correct. A generation of a new idea. Let's call it an innovation. Okay, sit down. Innovation, but this is an incomplete answer. Sab log likh lo. That is also the reason why 99% of startups fail in India. India does not feature in the list of Forbes top 25 startups. India का सिर्फ एक है, Asian Paints. इसीलिए क्योंकि आप लोगों को स्टार्टअप की डेफिनेशन तक नहीं पता. You need to understand one problem of the people, and not just 2 or 3 people. Vast majority of people. सबसे पहले उनकी प्रॉब्लम पकड़ी. हिंदी में क्या बोलते हैं? दुखती ज्यादा. पकड़ लो. Everyone in this class is suffering from that problem. Now I come up with an innovative idea, like you said, to solve that problem. But I don't have the capital, I don't have the money. But I have a great solution to all your problems. Now I try to seek funding from funding agencies, and I invest some of my own capital and bring this idea into the market. I have to start small. That's why it's called a startup. It's not an established business like Asian Paints. क्या बोलते हैं? मैं सबसे पहले मार्केट में अपना MVP. हाँ? हाँ, no, ये कौन सा बिजनेस पढ़ रहे हो यार? Startup की बात करें, most valuable जवाब भी देंगे। जुबान।
Most valuable price.
नो।
Most valuable product.
Repeat copycat. नो। लिख लो। मिनिमम वायबल प्रोडक्ट। ऐसा प्रोडक्ट लेके आ रही हूँ जो आप सबके उस प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व कर देगा, लेकिन ये मिनिमम वायबल प्रोडक्ट है, यानी कि इस प्रोडक्ट में वो सारी क्वालिटीज हैं मिनिमम, कम से कम, जो आप सबके प्रॉब्लम्स को सॉल्व कर सकते हैं। अभी मिनिमम क्यों बोला मैंने, बेटा आप बता सकते हैं मिनिमम क्यों बोला, मैक्सिमम क्यों नहीं बोल देगी, मैक्सिमम वायबल प्रोडक्ट क्यों नहीं बोल पा रही मैं? जवाब ऑलरेडी दे दिया है अगर ध्यान दे रहे हो, बट थिंक अबाउट इट। जवाब ऑलरेडी है तुम्हारे पास। स्टार्टअप की क्लास है, एस्टैब्लिश्ड बिजनेस की क्लास नहीं। यहाँ पर रतन टाटाज नहीं बैठे हुए, बिरलास, टाटाज, अंबानी नहीं बैठे हैं, स्टार्टअप वाले बैठे हुए हैं, एंटरप्रेन्योर्स बैठे हैं। मिनिमम बोला मैंने, मैक्सिमम नहीं बोला। Another reason why startups fail maximum in India, because we are not cracking open our heads to think creatively. जवाब नहीं है आपके पास, क्रिएटिवली सोचो तो जवाब आएगा। आप किताबों में बैठे हुए हो। That is why children who study MBA from books hardly ever become successful businessmen, and maximum successful businessmen are college dropouts. देखा है? Find out the profile. I challenge you. Pick up the 5 most successful billionaires in the world and check their educational qualifications. किसी एक के पास MBA मिल जाए, I will stop conducting this class. किताबों से जितना किताबों में घुसोगे उतना दिमाग बंद हो रहा है। That's the education system. हम चाहते हैं कि आप बस कॉन्सेप्ट पढ़ लो, रट लो, रूल्स को रट लो, दिमाग बंद कर लो और हमारे एम्प्लॉय बन जाओ। धंधा हम कर लेंगे, एम्प्लॉय आपको वेजेस दे देंगे, बट वेजेस कैन गिव यू अ लिविंग, प्रॉफिट्स विल गिव यू अ फॉर्चून। ये हमको पता है ना। सो द एजुकेशन सिस्टम, नॉट जस्ट इन इंडिया, वर्ल्ड वाइड, इज डिजाइन्ड इन सच अ वे सो दैट वी आर ओनली क्रिएटिंग वर्क फोर्सेस। हम बस वर्कर्स की एक फैक्ट्री प्रोड्यूस कर रहे हैं। We want a workers' factory, a factory which manufactures workforces, घोड़े जो हमारे लिए काम कर सके, so that none of you come up with your own stuff, because we want the money. इसलिए जवाब नहीं सोच पाते, बैठिए। Minimum viable product. I have less money right now. Funding agencies have given me limited funds. I have limited capital to invest. So now I will think, what is the minimum viable product with the necessary essential qualities? It might not be a fancy, fortified, glamorous product, but it has all the essential qualities. It fulfills all the essential requirements to solve your problems. अब मैं इस MVP को अगर मार्केट में लेके आऊंगी तो ये MVP कैसे परफॉर्म करेगा? The day I launch this MVP in the market as brand so and so under the name of something, I will study. I will have to map its performance in the market. Is it selling well? Are the customers, potential buyers responding to it well based on my sales and marketing strategy, जो कि मैं बाद में आपको बताऊंगी. Then you study the importance on the performance of this MVP. You slowly continue to build on it by getting more funding, investing now from your profits, from your gross margins to make it a better product. Or maybe you come up with version 2.0, जैसे आपके Android phones में versions आते हैं softwares के. You upgrade your product with more profits which you invest into your business, and then when your product performs well, what happens? More funding agencies help you out. That's how your product becomes better and better in the market. So we are going to study about startups today. Write down the first point. Let's start with the facts and figures. According to the IBM, according business value. 90% of Indian startups fail in the first 5 years. And I'm sure some of you must have heard of the failure stories of many. Start हुए बंद हो गए. 90% of them fail. Now I want you to make a graph. Make a graph. An x-axis, a y-axis. Make a graph. और जो आपका horizontal axis है, I want you to make 4 lines on it. Make a graph, yeah. 4 lines on it, very much like this. I want you to zoom in on this. And I want everyone to see this. This is how I want the graph to look. पहले में लिख लो India. This was a survey conducted from 2015 to 2016 in Asia. The first is India. The second is fourth is Japan. Asia, Tokyo, China, Japan. 2015 to 2016. अब ऊपर नंबर लगा लो. See, I want you to make vertical lines. India का सबसे छोटा vertical बनाओ. Then Tokyo, उससे बड़ा. China, उससे बड़ा. Japan, the longest. Make these 4 vertical lines. Vertical lines, Rudransh, yes. This has to be longer than this one. China longer, Japan longest. 2015 to 2016, only 1,423 startups came from India. Write down the figures. I'm sure some of you will become entrepreneurs. 1,423. Tokyo came up with 14,600. Look at the huge margin. Look at the disparity. 14,600 to 8 away. China, 29,800. 29,800. Japan, 44,200. 44,200. Now look at India's figure. According to Forbes, 25 biggest businesses. According to Forbes, the 25 biggest businesses around the world where maximum innovation is taking place. 25 biggest businesses around the world where maximum business is taking place. India features nowhere. India features nowhere apart from one, Asian Paints. Forbes कह रहा है Asian Paints is the only Indian business where maximum innovation is happening. 24 others belong to some other parts of the world. United States of America, United Kingdom, Israel, Turkey, etc. Southeast Asia, but not India, only Asian Paints. Ratan Tata is crying on social media. क्या बोल रहे हैं देखिए. Ratan Tata is saying there is a lack of. He's going crazy, telling everyone. I worked for T-Hub for 5 years. T-Hub की research कर लीजिएगा. India's biggest incubator of startups. Biggest incubator of startups in India. Ratan Tata regularly visits T-Hub to see how the startup ecosystem is working in Hyderabad and Bangalore. And he says the same thing. There was one seminar I attended where Ratan Tata said the same thing. He said, Indian startups lack little. And you should know the meanings of these terms. Indian startups lack actual disruption. Indian startups lack actual disruption and actual innovation. What is disruption? If you have an established mindset, you have to break it. You have to become a risk taker. You have to have a broad vision. Indian startups are lacking it. That's what he said. Then he said innovation. Innovation is lacking. Biggest example I have given you. Uber आ गया तो उसका Ola बना दिया. Airbnb आ गया तो उसका Oyo बना दिया. What have you done which is original, which is dominating the world market? Nothing. नथिंग। चाय वाला कुछ बनाया है, ट्रस्ट मी, अमेरिका में ऑलरेडी पहले कोई आ गया था जिसकी वजह से तुम चाय वाले स्टार्टअप्स बना रहे हो, ठीक है? So Indian startups are lacking actual disruption, actual innovation. 99% fail in the first 5 years because of these two reasons. Write it down. If tomorrow you want to be an entrepreneur, check yourself. Am I coming up with an innovative product or service which is not a copycat? Am I disturbing and disrupting my mental thought process which is fixated in books? I've studied so many books of MBA, BBA. Am I following everything by the rule, concept? You have to disrupt your mental process. You have to break your comfort zone. आपकी जितनी भी किताबें आप पढ़ते हैं, ये आपको comfort zone में डालती हैं. Comfort zone में डालने के लिए किताबें हम लिखते हैं ताकि आप हमारे लिए वर्क हॉर्स बन सके, काम करने वाले घोड़े, employees. If you cannot break out of the mold of your textbook, if you cannot break out of the mold of your comfort zone, if you cannot be a risk taker, go through chaos, adopt the growth mindset, you cannot have a business. Ratan Tata is saying this. I'm not saying. Startups में पहला point. Before we talk about how to have a successful startup, we need to talk about all the mistakes we are making. पहला mistake. First mistake, missing innovation around customers' money making model. Like I shared my experience with Amazon. Amazon did not care about my hiding 2 products and sharing a fake photograph of 2 products. Missing innovation around customers' money making model. What does it mean? कुछ points लिख लो, then I will ask you the meanings. If you are actually studying BBA, you should know the meanings of these terms by now. And you should guess it. Let's see. आप कितना किताब से पढ़ रहे हैं और आपको actually में business की terminologies कितने समझ में आते हैं? Let me test you today. Write down. Businessman बोलता है my money making model. I will make my money making model. I will come up with my MVP, then I will grow, I will go to more funding agencies, then I will have my book of accounts, I will have my gross margin, I will get my profits from here. This is going to be my major profit source, or these are going to be my major profit sources. This is where I will get my revenue from. I will make sure that I get my payments in advance, all on time. I will not have a negative cash flow. I will not have a negative margin. ये तुम अपने बारे में सोच रहे हो. This is your money making model. You have to think about the customer's money making model. How? Write down the points. Then I will ask you the meanings of every term. Customer's money making model. Ask yourself, if you are an entrepreneur, are you thinking about customers' profitability? लिखिए, profitability पहला है. Are you thinking about customers' growth? Next, productivity. 4 बताइए, कितने बताए? 4. Profitability, liquidity, growth, productivity. Next, customers' gross margin. Gross margin, please mind you, I will ask you the meaning of it. Customers' gross margin. Next point, customers' revenue. Not mine, customers' revenue. Next point, customers' inventory and turnover. Customers' inventory and turnover. Next, cash flow. Customer का cash flow कैसा है? लिख लिया? Cash flow. Next, customers' brand equity. Brand equity. Customer retention. Retention. R-E-T-E-N-T-I-O-N. I hope you know the spelling already. Customer retention. Last one. Speed of transaction. कितना जल्दी आपका customer आपको पे करता है? Is the customer giving you advance payment? Or is the customer giving you payment bang on time? Or is the customer delaying payment? बाद में कर देंगे. Speed of transaction. ये सारे points आपने किसके लिए लिखे? Customer के लिए. You have to think about these points from the customer's point of view. Now, before I wrap up the class, I want this to be completed by the next class. We discuss these क्योंकि देखिए जब तक इन टर्म्स के मीनिंग्स नहीं समझ लेंगे सेकंड पॉइंट पे नहीं जाते. If we have to move on to the second mistake which all students are making, we have to have our terminologies very clear in our minds. Okay, this is what it means. Tomorrow when I am explaining the second point or the third point and I keep mentioning gross income, gross revenue, you should not have some doubts. You know, you have crystal clarity of the term gross revenue, gross margin, brand equity, liquidity, profitability, retention, speed of transaction from the customer's point of view. You need to understand what is the difference between profits and think? No? You need to understand the difference between profit and revenue. Cost तो लगी नहीं है भाई प्रोडक्ट में. Cost तो लगाओगे ही. That's a very obvious question. No. Understand the difference between what is profit, what is revenue. Revenue भी तो आपके पास आता है. Profit भी तो आपके पास आता है. But what's the difference? You need to understand the difference between a check in hand and actual cash. These are very similar terms to each other. Check and cash होगा ना, but cash is cash. What is the difference? I can ask you all. What's the difference between a check in hand and cash? What is the difference between a profit and revenue? Or what is the difference between profit and gross margin? आप बोल सकते हो, आपकी अकाउंट्स बुक बोल रही है, I have a margin, there's a margin. But I can say, but what about your profit? You will say, ma'am, margin, profit, margin. No. ये सब लिख लीजिए अगर आप समझना चाहते हैं. Find out the differences between check in hand and cash, difference between profit and margin, difference between profit and revenue. कौन लिखेगा? Who will write down? Mridul, who will write down? You are already an established entrepreneur. You better write it then. Right?